Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion's Unstoppable Brimstone Menagerie. The Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus. We can't stop getting brimstone. It's a problem. What? 6B, KP, H22J. I thought we had lost the HUD on the right side of the screen, but we actually just have my shadow, which completely blends in. Damage is great. Rate of fire is actually excellent. The only real problem is our HP, but this is a really, really good start. We continue to basically get what I would describe as squanderable starts. There's two different kinds of unsquanderable starts. Starts that are so good that you can't Jeez, pardon me. Starts that are so good, that was gross, that you can't conceive of a loss. And then starts that are so bad that you can't conceive of calling it squandered because there's nothing to squander in the first place. But this is a squanderable start. To lose this would be to lose something important. So it's up to us to hold it together here, but it seems relatively easy, especially with 6 cents. All we need is a key. Key gives us shop access. Shop access gives us a spirit heart, probably, if we don't get one through other means. You know, I don't know why she swallowed the fly. I guess she'll die. It's all a chain of events. Got a bomb, which we have to go back for. We also start with, in my opinion, one of the more interesting spacebar items added to the game recently, and that's Dull Razor. Dull Razor's got a myriad of uses. You know, anything that IV Bag can do except give you the money in the first place, and I guess trigger Bloody Lust. This can do as well, which I mean to say is basically an opportunity for us to pay half price to go into the Curse Room just by using Dull Razor on the way in. Let's go bomb the boss. One of the rare blank the blanks that isn't associated with the troublesome college initiation process, I suppose. Salt the snail maybe is fine as well. It's always sunny in Philadelphia. You know, I'm not really familiar with that side of things. I was always raised... Well, I don't know where I was going to go with the I was always raised sort of comment. You'll see why that doesn't make sense. But, you know, I was raised on media. That was like first year of college. Fraternity. You're going to take off your pants. People are going to hit you on the bum with a paddle. Then I get to my school, and fraternities are outlawed. Probably for that exact reason. It was nice, to be honest with you, like, to not have to deal with fraternities, I suppose. It didn't inhibit social life at the school. You know, my alma mater, probably the most famous event at it within the last 10 years, well, the last 15 years, I guess, at this point, is that a homecoming party. A bunch of people flipped over a car and then lit it on fire. I know. Amateurs in some parts of the world, but for Canada, that's, Conehead's alright. That's, a little serious, so... Nothing. Well, I guess we're just gonna bounce. Although the secret room is probably up here. But yeah, you know, I got prepared for fraternity life. And by prepared, I mean I did absolutely nothing whatsoever to prepare for it, then it didn't exist. Not that I feel ripped off. So we can't go into our shop without using a key, but I don't want to use a key because we could use the money that we have right now. If we don't spend it on the shop, and we don't need it because we got HP anyway, but we can take the money that we have right now, don't spend it on the shop, instead spend it on a chance to go to the arcade, or hold it for a chance to mature into a chance to make the arcade work for us. You get the idea at this point. Basically, I want an arcade. And without Dull Razor doing anything else for us at all, it makes sense to use this as a way to get a little bit more free money out of the donation, or out of the blood bank if it exists. Ooh, but Cheers is also like really good. It's a tough call. We're spoiled for choice, honestly, and that's why it's a squanderable run. You might say, you know, NL, were you at that party where the car flipped over? No. Not necessarily just because I'm a good boy, but at the same time, I was also in 12th grade. I wasn't about to be like, hey, Mom, can I go to the university party? I promise we won't flip over a car and light it on fire. Because that would have been a lie, I suppose. I would have been guilty by association, no matter what. So I was not at that one. But I was at the next, probably like the next 3, I guess. At which point, nobody flipped over cars, but instead you go, hey, you guys excited to go down to Aberdeen Street, and then we went down to Aberdeen Street and went, it's like really crowded here and there's broken glass everywhere. I don't see the appeal. I didn't see the appeal at the time either, but I still went. It was to be seen. It's provocative. It gets the people going. All right. Get cranked on, little horn. This strange expression, but that's fine. I invented it, I think. Oh, we don't want that. Sure. I don't like that item. It's just not good enough to be excited about, at least. But I will go back for it and, of course, take it now because I didn't think they'd keep the door open for me. I feel like those doors have been staying open a lot more often recently, which is honestly good news for me. Oftentimes, we kind of botch our deal with the devil plays, so for that to work is good. But I don't know if having a random familiar that tends to be decent is worth the... it's like a passive Monster Manuel, basically. I don't know if that's worth the squeeze. So... Wow. You don't get much luckier than that. So I'm just gonna take that as the universe being like, good job, son. You know what? Thank you. I appreciate it. 2 extra keys. Guess we should just crank on those. Go in here. Might be able to get enough money to buy something, but we don't want any of this junk. Get out of here. Get the trash out of here. We're set, dude. This is like a really, really good run. And you know what? Dull Razor justified its existence. The shears is also lovely. I don't know why I said that with such a salival tone, which is not a word probably, but you know, who gets to decide what a word is? William Shakespeare? I'm trying to keep politics out of it. I apologize, but William Shakespeare shouldn't get to decide on a word. If I say salival and you just heard me go Shakespeare, you know what that word means. That word is made. We all agree upon the meaning of the word. Add it to the dictionary. Not just the urban dictionary, but the rural dictionary as well. Both kinds of dictionaries. Dull Razor, it might seem like, I mean, and right now, to be fair, we are in that situation. But it might seem like this is an item it's hard to get to really synergize. There's actually so many items in this game that give you a benefit upon being hit. All we need to do is find some of them. Even just by itself, if you think you're going to take damage, just pop Dull Razor, and all of a sudden you can't take damage because you're in your period of invincibility. But, I mean, we have the Shade, so I guess we really should be popping this like once every 2 rooms just to make another Shade. But no, I don't think we get a Shade with Dull Razor, which is actually disappointing. Throwing a little bit of HP away for no reason here, though. No, we totally do. Disregard. Or maybe we get a chance to. I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's worth once every two rooms trying to spawn one, because right now we're not doing anything else with it. We could use it as kind of like a ghetto how to jump. But how to jump has no charge, which is why it's a little bit of a, well, a lot of a better option if you're just going for as much invincibility as possible. Okay. Bomb bag is basically not good for our exact purposes right now, but I also cannot complain. We're about 2 HP upgrades away from just kicking the crap out of the run, so I don't foresee bad things happening in our future here. Ooh, this could be good. It could also be basically like completely neutral, I suppose. This is the weakest Dull Razor synergy, but at least it's something. Because the Shade is even worse when it's just by its lonesome. And I recognize that this is not the most, you know, incredible proof of concept for Dull Razor, but you've seen Dull Razor pop off before. Dull Razor turns varicose veins from like an also-ran into just a wonderful choice. Slices and dices makes julienne fries. I always thought, as a kid, this expression I don't think is used as much anymore. It must have been like a cultural reference to something that happened when I was younger. But It always, when they're making fun of infomercials, they'd say, it slices, it dices, it even makes julienne fries. I always thought they said julienne fries. And I was like, who is this julienne fries? Is it the inventor of the Frenched fry? Because I would love to meet this man and shake his hand for creating one of my favorite foods. Could be worse. It could be it slices, it dices, it makes julienne fry. You go, oh, geez. I don't know about that third one. Slicing and dicing. Chilling and swilling, relaxing, all cool. Shooting some b-ball outside of the school. I don't think they were swilling. I think his name is Will. Okay. We're going to buy a spirit heart. Everything else is kind of junk in here. So surprisingly dangerous situation. At least from our HP standpoint. But I do have to recognize my own role in that. Taking a lot of damage. And throwing away some spirit hearts we had no reason to lose. I will also say, though, I'm not going to act like there's no benefit to this for us, but we didn't have to take both deals with the devil. Neither deal with the devil gave us a damage upgrade. So it's not like they were must-takes. I really took them, and they could be mistakes instead of must-takes. Ooh, close. Okay, 3 bombs, plenty of consumables. Haven't been to our item room yet on this floor. Lots of room for improvement. Throw some bombs down. It was like a great 1-2 punch right there. We're so fast. Come on. Give me an undeserved deal with the devil. I'll even take Krampus. Didn't beat the odds. That's fine. Again, like, we're very lucky. The thing with having a good start is that a good start doesn't necessarily guarantee a good run. What it does mean is that no matter what, even if you have a couple of bad floors, you're good. Whew. That was a little close there. It's like eating a good breakfast. Eating a good breakfast doesn't guarantee your day is going to go well. But what it does mean is that, you know, if you got important things at work that keep you from eating lunch, we have been to our item room, it was bomb bag. If you got a, you know, important work stuff that came up out of nowhere, you got to skip lunch, you're not going to be as hungry, you know? That's why one of NL's travel rules, and it sounds so stupid, but so many people in this career make, like, I'm not firing shots, they make bad choices with respect to their health, and I'm not talking about, like, you know, they eat too many hamburgers. I eat too many hamburgers. I respect the hamburger poisoning as a noble way to go. What I mean instead, rather, is like, you know, you gotta drink some water. You gotta eat some food. That's more of what I'm concerned about. So many people, when they travel, don't follow NL's travel rules, which are very, very simple. Anytime, there's 3 rules, basically. But basically 2 and 1 as a sub-rule. Anytime you get the chance to go to the bathroom, you go to the bathroom. If you're out and one of your friends has to go to the bathroom, don't let them just go in by themselves. You go take a pee as well. Because it minimizes the chance that any of you are going to get stuck in a position where you urgently have to go to the bathroom to the point of affecting your plans. If you're already stopping to send one person to the bathroom, everybody that has even an inkling that they could have to go to the bathroom in the future should go to the bathroom. It's just a sensible move. You know your own body, but at the same time recognize if it's been like 8 hours since you urinated and you're like, but I don't have to go. Just go. You're gonna have to, what do you think? Your kidneys stopped working? Just go to the bathroom, you weirdo. And then the second thing is, whenever you get a chance to eat or drink, you take them up on that offer. And the reasoning is exactly the same, with an added benefit of people are almost always more pleasant to be around when they're not starving. So it's good for everybody's mood. I think a lot of situations would resolve themselves if you, you know, 2 people had like a fight and they said, okay, we're going to continue this fight after we eat a sandwich. You go eat the sandwich, you come back, are you as mad? Probably not, unless you just ate, maybe you're fighting over dinner. I mean, it's oversimplification here. But you know, you'd be amazed how many people don't do that. I've been to more conventions than I should have gone to, basically, at this point. I've gone to more conventions than the average human being goes to in like 6 lifetimes. Did Bad Trip not hurt us? Or did it take away a spirit heart I didn't even know existed? You gotta, like, drink water. You're at dinner, drink like 4 glasses of water. You're gonna thank yourself later. Go to the bathroom at the restaurant, unless you want to go to the bathroom at like a convention center. But anyway, I forgot why I even got on this topic. Oh, because this is one of NL's rules of travel. They've served me very well. I'm not going to say I never find myself in positions where I'm not hungry or thirsty or, got to go to the bathroom when I travel, but they're minimized as a result of these precautions. I don't like the coupon, honestly. I think it's overrated in my opinion. So many streamers, like, you'd be like, oh, like Rob saying that he doesn't have time to defecate blew me away. That's a non-negotiable thing. Like, he's got this weird thing where, like, I'm a long pooper and I understand it more than most, but he's like, I like to take like a half hour to a 45-minute poop, and I don't have a half hour to 45 minutes to spare today, so I guess I won't poop. That's absurd. Make the time. Move something around to defecate, or change your habits, because like that can only be harmful. And like for a while, Austin, and maybe even still, we have recording sessions sometimes at like 7 p.m. my time, which is 8 p.m. his time. This has been happening a lot less recently, and to his credit, be the change you want to see in the world. Excuse me. And he starts streaming at like noon his time or something like that, finishes the stream, and then comes on to do the recording sessions with us. And then he's like, hey, I'm really hungry. And I'm like, what would you eat today? Nothing. You've been up for 9 hours? You haven't eaten any food? You gotta nip that in the bud. I know a few of you out there watching this, because this is a very common archetype, like in high school. And I did it in university as well, I'll admit. But, they'd be like, yeah, I don't eat breakfast. So I basically wake up at like 6:30 a.m. and wait till lunch, and then I eat. What's wrong with that? Look, if you're actually physically ill when you eat in the morning, I understand. A lot of people feel that same way. I'm the exact opposite. I wake up with a burning hunger like every single morning. And I love it, because breakfast is right around a freaking corner, man. Just go pick it up. Best meal of the day. But you're going, I agree with Austin. No, the thing is, though, just because you've trained yourself to believe that that's, like, you can survive doing that, doesn't mean it's the ideal way to do it, dude. Wake up, have a glass of water, eat a banana or something at least. And then come back and tell me that you don't feel better. We've performed this experiment on the show before. I had this anecdote, or this exact same tangential piece of advice. And then I was like, just go eat breakfast for a week if you don't normally eat it, and see how you feel at like noon every single day. I got a lot of tweets from people that were like, who would have thought I feel better after eating breakfast? It's important. And you might say, like, who doesn't know this? I know! That's the thing. That's why I'm surprised I gotta bring it up in the first place. There's a lot of pressure on the Twitch side of things, especially, to like always be on, never take breaks, and I understand that, but at the same time, you gotta eat, man. What good is having a career streaming if you can't have a bean burrito, 15-minute bean burrito break at times? But anyway, I'm not a paragon of health, admittedly. What I am is maybe a little older than the average streamer. I've matured into an old man of streaming, I guess, by virtue of still being around at this point. But this guy is coming from a place of love. You gotta eat. Why be stubborn? Is your pride worth discomfort? Sometimes I'll go 12 hours, from waking up until the first meal. It stinks, dude. There's never a time where I'm like, yeah, I'm glad I'm fasting right now. I apologize. This episode might be like mid-Ramadan or something like that, and you're like, please stop talking about fasting. I've been doing it for, 2 weeks at this point, or a month at this point, so, more power to you. I did a fundraiser. You might not know this, but in some Canadian provinces, and I don't know, other parts of the world perhaps, in order to get your high school diploma, you have to do 40 hours of community service. Which in hindsight doesn't seem like that much, but at the time was like, I could get in a car accident and get 0 community service potentially. But it's good to foster some community involvement / resentment because you're forced into it. But anyway, the point is, I got super lucky, and before they went, wait a minute, this is not that much effort. There was a little fundraiser called the 30-Hour Famine, which was to raise funds to help alleviate global hunger. So what you did is you stayed overnight at the school. Let me just see what this deal with the devil contains. Good lord. You stayed overnight at the school, and you didn't eat for 30 hours. So, you know, starting from, like, lunchtime on the Friday and going until, like, 6 p.m. on the Saturday. Yeah, of course we'll take that. Dude, Dull Razor gives us the ability to actually use these. Sort of worth it. You didn't eat anything. So we set up, like, you know, VCRs, and we watched R-rated movies, and this was the mid-2000s, which at the time seemed like, you know, everybody's so concerned about safety. And now people are probably like, the mid-2000s, you could do whatever you wanted, relative to now. But anyway. Played Halo 2 LAN parties and stuff like that, and we got 30 hours of community service for it. And it wasn't that bad, you know, to go without food for 30 hours and put yourself in the shoes of other people, you know, for whom that's not an option. And instead, you know, that's just the normal way of life. It's very sad, but also at the same time, it allows you to, it makes it more real, I suppose, without putting you on the same level of having suffered, of course. But I recognize that it's not a torture to go 30 hours without food once. And thus I understand, you know, you're like, I can go without breakfast every single day, as people around the world do it. But, you know, when they brought out the pizzas at the end of the 30-hour famine, it was about to be a freaking riot. So don't tell me that the food has no value, man. Anyway, the other side of that story that I didn't quite finish was, and everybody did this, but basically, like, I got 30 hours of volunteering or community service for doing the 30-hour famine. So essentially, I got 3/4 of my community service for participating in a fundraiser in which I basically just did not eat for 30 hours, which was very easy relative to doing any actual work. And then I got like 10 hours once because I went to my aunt's office, which was a non-profit organization, and then she was like, hey, can you like set up this router? And I was like, okay, there you go. And she's like, hey, can you set up this printer? And I was like, okay, there you go. And she's like, well, you know, you're supposed to be here for like another 8 hours, but there's not that much to do. But there is like a couch, so if you want to just take a nap, go ahead. And that's exactly how that went down. And then she signed it for 10 hours. I was there for 10 hours. I'm not lying to you. And you know what? Honestly, that's how some of my jobs at offices had gone after that point as well. You'd be like, oh, hey, Ryan, welcome to the office. Okay, here's a little task for you. Let me know when you get that done. All right, it's done. All right, here's task number 2 for you. Okay, that's done. Well, you see, the way things actually work is you're supposed to take as long as is possible without raising suspicion when you do a task, and as a result, you get less work assigned to you. So if you could stop bothering me and instead just fart around at your desk for like another 2.5 hours before you ask for another assignment, that'd be sweet, because I got important work to do. Okay, get out of my office. So in that way, it was very representative of adult life. Oh, dude, that's a bummer. This run it's come off the rails. First off, we lost the value of Maggie's Faith there, which makes me a very sad individual. But we got 2 HP, and our stats are basically where they were at the start of this run. And that's why I say, like, that's why what you say, that we don't have a guaranteed win. We do have tolerance for having a couple of floors of garbage. And really, we have had a couple of floors of garbage. We only had a 33% Devil Deal chance anyway, so to go from a 33%, wow, to go from a 33% chance to a 9% chance is not that bad. It's bad. It's worse. But it's not like we went from 100 to 30. I suppose relatively it's the same, but I don't know if relative matters that much in this situation. Okay. As soon as you drop the Book of Shadows, you're gonna lose the effect of the Book of Shadows. So I think you Dull Razor, Book of Shadows. Book of Shadows. No, you don't lose it. Okay. So we don't need to get all of them. We just wanted to get the Bookworm transformation. And now we have Satanic Bible. And, you know, I would love to feel like I didn't have to take Satanic Bible and continue with the Dull Razor, which was still not enabled, but it was eventually going to get there, probably. Just because of the sheer number of items that can synergize with it. Oh, can synergize, my favorite MMA fighter. But we have to go Satanic Bible, I think. Dude, that's just an insult. Give me the quarter when I have 99 cents. I mean, I didn't have to pick it up. I could have gone to the shop and spent some money, but it's very unlikely to matter. Like, let's be honest with one another here. That misplayed 25 cents with 2 shops remaining, one of which will almost certainly have greed, is not going to be the win or losing factor here, I think. Certainly we want this. We don't want Little Baggy. We've already got the Faith of Maggie. Nice try. 48-hour energy? Dude, okay, so apparently we're actually just going to defensively ball out of control, despite the fact that we started this run looking like an offensive powerhouse and also looking like a fool with our pants on the ground. Got your hat turned sideways. Something, yeah. Looking like a fool with your pants on the ground. Well, we have a 1 in 11 chance of making the devil deal pop. It would be nice. It's a rough one. Really should have advertised Sister Viz on this one, honestly. It's the much more dominant factor of this fight. You gonna shoot, coward? You're only gonna kill a man. Che Guevara, also Northernlion. Homer Simpson smiling politely. It was actually very easy. No deal with the devil, a tears upgrade that honestly is extremely welcomed at this point, and then more spirit hearts that we could possibly desire. But this run is slowed down absurdly. Like, we started with such a leg up on a chance to get the boss rush, and now we find ourselves like, it's not going to happen, obviously, unless we get Mama Mega. But if we get Mama Mega, we can also cheese our way out of boss rush, which is what we would want to do, because it would take us 230,000 years to actually get through it. I think we're happier with Maggies Faith for now. It was a very silly move to try to make that dodge work, but it did work. I'm not really, like, bitter about this run. I'm just surprised at how things have turned out. It's like the kids are all right by the Offspring sort of situation, although I'm pretty sure the message of that song is that things didn't turn out all right. See, it's like the kids aren't all right is the thing. I always like to listen to that song, and then after that, I listen to Surrender by Cheap Trick. Mommy's alright, daddy's alright, they just look a little weird. And it's like the kids aren't alright, but mommy and daddy are killing it. And you know what? They deserve to. They worked for it, man. Kind of tempted to take one of the candles, but I mean, this is working. It was really nice. No thank you on that one, but stars carded up. The finger's more interesting. I'll meet you 50-50 on that one. And we slightly improved our damage, but the tarot cloth is basically the big get there. And being able to choose items from the boss fight and from our last item room. I mean, 7 cents basically bought us a choice on that item room. I think that's a pretty okay deal. We're going to go back for the Awaz rune. I don't really know what I expect to get out of that. I don't want to skip a floor. Guess a doubled chance at a black market when we got HP to burn thanks to Maggies Faith is pretty solid. It's a weird run, man. Today on Northernlion's Insights while playing The Binding of Isaac, eating food is good for you. followed by, wow, what a weird run. Really have the ability to do the mob trap room. I think we might just go, like, try to get a little bit of pace back underneath this run. So what are we looking for? An arcade? You don't want to play it because of the Eternal Heart situation. I guess, like, a curse room could be good, but I think this is still, like, probably our preferred way to go here. So we know we're going to get the Polaroid. A deal with the devil would be so nice to just give us some DPS. I recognize that we got Champion Belt, but you can't build a winning run on Champion Belt alone. You know, Champion Belt, lump of coal, and a good start. It carries you for a while, but, you know, that won't keep me warm in the middle of the night. That don't impress me much. So you got DPS, but do you got the touch now? We did get a deal, and we inch ever closer to eventually making Guppy pop, potentially. We don't need the money, because we actually cannot make the Hush fight. Thank God we got all these, you know, mapping tools. I don't know what Awaz did there with Tarot Cloth, but it did give me a crawl space. Dude, that's pretty funny. Let's go. Oh, we've broken him. I thought he was just going to keep ricocheting. Or nicklicheting. That's right, being the founder and principal member of the 5th best boy band from the 1990s. Well, late 1990s. Then we got to start talking about New Kids on the Block and, you know, Menudo and that one that Ricky Gervais was part of. Swallowed Penny is actually more useless than useless. It takes away an HP upgrade, so... Or like several HP upgrades potentially, so we'll stay away from that. Basically, that's a pretty easy decision to make. We've chosen not to eat poison here. Dude, I am worried that eventually in the future, I'm going to make like the world's most paranoid dad. You know how many searches I have on my phone for like, is it okay for a cat to eat blank? Because you'd be surprised. Like, I didn't used to be paranoid about this kind of stuff, but I bring it up because for you and me, we're like, yeah, don't eat poison. Hey, should I eat this plastic bag? No, you dummy. Don't eat the plastic bag. Don't even give me the classic internet's devil's advocate. What if you have Pika? Okay, what if you're in the 0.005% of the population that has freaking Pika? Yeah, okay, don't eat the plastic bag still if you can help it, but I understand that there's underlying issues that make it seem more, you know, desirable than it actually is in reality. I'm just saying you still shouldn't eat the plastic bag. This is against the point of the conversation. Cats have no idea. And you have to appreciate that, I guess from a cat standpoint, although they're incapable of having this thought consciously, they live in an alien civilization. Like, we are a benevolent, superior, sorry, but it's true. You ever seen a cat go to the freaking moon? Just throwing that out there. That's a very Homo sapien-centric look of progress, NL. Okay, look, I'm proud of my species, alright? We've done some good stuff. And some just god-awful stuff. But, you know, some good stuff as well. It's not all bad. I guess we'll take Little Steven. And we've built all these structures that are like, hey, nice planet. Remember when you used to jump around in that tree? Well, that tree is now a 100-story high apartment building. But you can live in it, and we'll give you food and water, and your lives are going to be comfortable. And, well, don't worry. Within a few dozen generation, we'll just breed it so you like captivity anyway, and it'll be a good relationship for all of us, you know? Cats sold out, and they were smart to do it, because we're, you know, killing it. And anyway, the point is, they don't know what's poison and what's not poison. My cat routinely will, well, we have two cats, but one in particular, Ruka, will fight Tomo, bite fur off of Tomo's body, and then eat it in some kind of weird display of, like, now part of you is inside of me, and, like, I'm eating your courage or something like that. It's very primal. And then, an hour later, we'll just throw up in front of our bedroom door, and the throw up is just cat hair. Thanks a lot for that. Now, that's, like, ignoring all the plants that, dude, Conehead saved me there. all the plants that cats can't eat. Literal garbage that just falls in the ground. Like, here's a little short list for you. Garlic and anything in the garlic family. So shallots, garlic, obviously. I don't know about ginger. I don't think ginger's the kind of garlic you just lump them together because they're used a lot, but they might be. Better safe than sorry, right? Grapes, lilies, poinsettias, you know, many different flowers that you just go to the florist and be like, hey, give me some pretty flowers. Oh, thank you. Here's a lot of money. You go home and you're like, oh, you just introduced like an actual weapon of mass destruction to your cat, you know? Coffee. That's the one that got me because I'm making this cold brew. Requires you leaving the coffee grinds out sitting in water. And now I'm like, I gotta put this on like a shelf hidden away because caffeine, cats don't apparently possess the necessary metabolic pathways to process it, so it kind of builds up as a toxin in their blood. So it's now I'm like, these are cats. I love them like they are my child. Every night before I go to bed, I do a once over the whole apartment, and I go, you know, trust me, doesn't take too long. We live in Vancouver. But I do a once over, and I go, okay, any like sharp things sticking out, anything they could potentially like choke on and die. Because you're like, on the one hand, you're like, Mother Nature's pretty smart. You know, they've lived for hundreds of thousands of years in a similar form to what they're at now. They'll probably handle it, and I accept that. I do. But at the same time, there's like a rash of like cats falling out of high-rise windows lately, and that reminds you that you're like, wait, but we kind of bred them to be a little dumb as well. Like, they're clever sometimes, but they can still be like, you know, I'm on a window, I slipped, and now I'm, you know, fallen 8 stories or something like that. Not a good thing. Sure, they might live when they land, but, you know, injury and trauma, and then they're lost, etc. You get the idea. So they're cats. So I love them like they're children, but they're not children in the sense that like it's not quite the same if your cat eats a chocolate bar as it is if your kid like swallows a bunch of Drano. So I'm a little in the back of my head. Not that it's on the to-do list for like the next 5 years, but I'm a little worried that I'm gonna be like the world's most worried dad. At least like when the kid becomes 10. 15, you know, whatever. I'm gonna go out with my friend's dad. I'll be like, okay, don't accidentally take fentanyl, please. That's the big one. And apart from that, you're probably, you know, kids will be kids, right? You'll figure it out. But when they're like 0 years old, I was just nightmares of just waking up and you're like, oh, the baby got his head stuck in between the bars of his crib, but he's alive. But this image will haunt you forever. You know, that's the kind of stuff I'm worried about. See, I think my mom was actually the opposite to some extent. She's a lot better about it now because I'm like an adult. But when I was a kid, like a young kid, my mom was like, play outside. Go nuts. And then when I got older, when I got into the teenage stuff, she was like a little bit more nervous, which was completely uncalled for because I was like actually the most like a cartoonishly well-behaved teenager. You know, I'd be like, I'm gonna go hang out with my friend Michael A.L. Fox. Like, don't do drugs. Like, what do you think we're gonna do drugs? We're gonna play like, you know, brute force on the original Xbox. It's flattering that you think I'm going to his house to do drugs. Nobody else in the school's drawing that conclusion. I can tell you that much. Yeah, I'm gonna go over to his house. We're gonna work on a report about Ampere's law, one of Maxwell's equations that describes the behavior of electromagnetism. But thanks for thinking we're gonna inject some crocodile. It makes us sound a lot cooler than we actually are, I guess, in society's eyes. But yeah, definitely like she was more nervous as I got older. I think I'm gonna be the opposite, but who knows, man? That's the thing. I'm sure, you know, everybody's like, this is how I'm going to be as a parent, and then you actually have a child, and you go, what? Oh, what are these changes happening to me on a neurological level right now? That's why I wouldn't deign to know. I got roasted so hard. There was an Onion article, you know, the satire, humor publication. The Quarterly, the periodical from the Onion News Network. And it was like 27-year-old man sagely gives advice to 24-year-old man, and I was like, yeah, got me. That's these videos. At least I always go, but I'm still a young man, and I don't know what I'm talking about, and it's brazen to give advice regardless. What am I getting hit by, dude? I don't understand. I think the broken... I don't know what's happening. I think the broken modem causes some shots to get stuck in the air, but their sprites glitch out, and then I'm like walking into the shots. I was actually losing it temporarily there. It was nice we got to talk about some stuff that was not Isaac related for like 5 minutes there, because the run started to pop off. Now it's in a dangerous position again, but we'll still probably be fine. I don't know how I lost so much HP. Again, I take it as an insult when they give me void access before the chest, especially with the Yarrow rune. I'm not going to do it. Void is not that fun to justify skipping, 16 free items. It's not fun enough to justify skipping 4 items. Please, more passives. Peeper's a passive. Epiphora is a good passive, if we use it properly. Metal Plate, I never remember what it does. Euthanasia is good. The Relic is great. Butt Bombs is fine, and Tech X is game-winning. Mom's Bra is useless, mostly. 2020 is lovely. X-Ray Vision, largely irrelevant. Zodiac ranges from sort of good to sort of bad. Anemic is irrelevant. Blank Card, doesn't matter. Obsessed Fan, mostly for Beelzebub. And Demon Baby. So in the end, I mean, turned out pretty well. I can't with good conscience say that in the end it doesn't even matter, because in the end it did matter here. We got some very good stuff as a result of the extra effort we put in there, so I'm a happy camper. We're going to just steamroll now. I'm not salty about the way that the game went, but we're going to come through in the clutch regardless. Hello, Kate.
Hello.
How's it going? That is easily doable. Not a problem whatsoever.
How long is there left in yours?
In this run right here, approximately 10 to 90 seconds. Because this is balling out of control. It's on a level that mankind has never... She's left. She left in the middle of that description. But that's okay. We are going to be done soon. What's up with these restaurants, man? It's 8:30 p.m. on a Sunday. My ideal dinner time? Maybe 2 hours from now. But they're all like, oh, we're going to close, spend time with our families. Oh, come on, dude. What about those of us who choose to wake up at 11 a.m. and then eat an exceptionally late dinner? You know, where's our recognition? This is inside baseball enough on an actual level that it's not even worth talking about beyond just the byline, but Vancouver actually does sort of stink from like an after 10 p.m. food perspective. There's a lot of like every place closes at 8. And I'm not complaining because, like, you know, I've lived in a small town for a lot of my life. I understand. You're like, well, it's 8 p.m. Should we go out for dinner? Well, there's only 3 places in the whole town that are open. Shea McDonald's, the Maison de the King of Burgers, and, you know, oh, if we really hurried, Pizza the Hut might serve us. So, I've lived that life. But for a city of 3 million people, there's a surprising lack of, like, 24-hour joints of the food variety. Anyway, hey, for now, thanks for watching. Finish strongly on this run. If you enjoyed it, click the like button. Helps out a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. But for now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.